Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of sleep, how it affects mood, how it affects our personality, how it affects our performance, our brain functionality, and also our health, and even weight loss. So I invite you to watch this next video, and we're going to learn a lot about sleep and the importance of sleep. First off, how much sleep should we really be getting? Studies have shown that between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night is sufficient. We also want to be careful if we find ourselves dozing off throughout the day. We can kind of gauge how much sleep we actually should get because there really is no set specific hours for each person. It may vary a little bit, but in order to know how much sleep you're getting, to make sure you're getting sufficient sleep, you want to make sure of a couple things. If you're dozing off during the day, that could be one sign that you're not getting enough sleep. Also, if you find yourself falling asleep while you're sitting or reading for a period of time, or possibly sitting in public, maybe at the movies or in a meeting, listening to a speech or a lecture, you find yourself dozing off, that could be another indication that you're not getting enough sleep. If you're riding in a car for over an hour or for up to an hour and you find yourself dozing off, that could be another indication that you're sleep deprived. There's something called microsleep. And microsleep is basically periods throughout the day where you just fall asleep. It's something you have no control over. And many people have experienced this while driving. I've experienced it myself. You're driving and next thing you know, all of a sudden it feels like you're awake again. You don't even realize that you fell asleep. That's what microsleep is. AAA has noted that around 6,400 accidents per year are caused by drowsy driving. So it's something we really want to be careful about and take notice of. If you're not getting sufficient sleep, then try to work on that. Also, if you notice, if you're sitting in a car or sitting and having a conversation with someone, you feel yourself dozing off, that could be another indication you're sleep deprived. I remember one occasion where I actually sat down at the table with an attorney to explain to him the accident that I had been through, and I noticed that he was, dozing off and falling asleep, and I'm thinking, is this guy even interested in what I'm saying? Well, probably he was just sleep deprived. Also, if you're sitting quietly after lunch, you find yourself dozing off. A lot of times we get, when we're full, those chemicals get released in our brain that kind of make us more relaxed. We may feel like, we're starting to slow down a little bit. But if you find yourself dozing off right after lunch, it could also be another indication you're sleep deprived. And if you're sitting in traffic just for a few minutes, maybe at a traffic light, you find yourself dozing off, could be another indication also that you're not getting sufficient sleep. Sleep deprivation causes an increase in adenosine. Now, adenosine works with ATP. That's a chemical that's released in the brain, the adenosine, that kind of tells us when to go to sleep. It kind of works along with melatonin at the same time. So it releases that signal that, hey, it's time to go to sleep. So adenosine starts to get reduced the more sleep that we get. But if we're not getting sufficient sleep, adenosine starts to increase. A lot of people think that, well, I drink caffeine, I can drink coffee and go right to bed. It has no effect on me. That's actually not a good thing. That means you have a buildup of adenosine. And when you drink coffee, which is a stimulant, which actually, caffeine actually blocks those, the receptors of adenosine. So once that signal is blocked, then you actually feel more awake, but you're still sleep deprived. So that's why you want to be careful. That's another signal that's telling you you're not getting enough sleep. What are some of the mental health benefits of getting enough sleep? Well, during sleep, it helps our brain to clear up those neural pathways so we can make new thoughts, new memories for the next day. It helps us in being able to learn and also being able to remember. Now, when you go to sleep, that's a time where your brain is like doing house cleaning. So it starts to clean out all the memories and things that you really don't need. So to give you, for instance, Let's say you're doing some work with a piece of wood. You're cutting a piece of wood or something, you're picking up wood, you're moving it, you get a splinter in your finger. That's a memory that your body's going to remember. Your brain is going to keep that in its memory banks. Also, if you ate some bad food. Now, when's the last time you ate a hot dog? Maybe you really don't eat hot dogs, or the last time you ate a steak. You may not remember. You might remember the place that you ate at or where you had it, and you say, wow, that tastes really good. But if you ate a hot dog or a piece of steak or something that was bad and it made you really sick, your brain is going to make sure that they remember that. I had this at one occasion. I ate a hot dog, made me really sick the next day. And it was not even months, probably years before I ate another hot dog. A good night's sleep helps to improve learning, and it also helps to improve your problem-solving skills. So you ever wake up in the morning, you get like that brain fog. Usually that goes away, but sometimes it carries on throughout the day. And you have a harder time solving problems if you're sleep deprived. It also helps you to make decisions better, helps you to be more creative. It helps you also to pay attention, because when you're sleep deprived, it's very hard to stay focused. Your memory actually works better when you are getting sufficient sleep. Sleep deficiency is also linked to depression and suicide, and also risk-taking behaviors as well. A good night's sleep is very important, but good quality sleep is even more important. So getting that quality sleep is what you really want to aim for. There's something called sleep apnea. I'm sure many people have heard of it, but what sleep apnea is actually occasions throughout the night where you stop breathing. And when you stop breathing, you wake up. Now, we all go through sleep cycles where we're more awake and less sleep. But in these times, it actually throws off our rhythm of those different sleep cycles. When you're in a slow wave sleep, or you're in sort of a lighter sleep cycle. And each sleep cycle lasts about 90 minutes. So what happens during that sleep cycle is what your body's supposed to do. When you're supposed to be in a slow wave sleep, all of a sudden you stop breathing and then you wake up. So when your sleep is disrupted in this manner, it's very hard to get a good quality sleep. Also, getting quality sleep heals and repairs blood vessels in our heart. It helps to trigger certain hormones, growth hormones in children that are very essential to their growth. Getting proper sleep is essential for them. And for children between the ages of 6 and 12, they need even more sleep. They could go up as far as 10 to 12 hours of sleep. But adults and like teenage young adults, they can do with 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Getting proper sleep will boost your muscle mass. This is especially for young children, helps to repair cells. It plays a role in puberty and fertility as well. It also leads to a decrease in health risks. You know, some say that people are predisposed to heart disease, hypertension, stroke, or obesity. A lot of this can be maintained with proper sleep. It also helps the body to fight off common colds, germs that are in the air, things that we come in contact with all the time. It helps to fight off infections as well. Weight loss. How does getting proper sleep help us with weight loss? Well, good quality sleep helps to balance out hormones. So there's hormones within our body. There's two. There's called ghrelin, which is produced in the gut, and also leptin, which is produced in the adipose tissue or fat tissues. Ghrelin sends off the signal that you are hungry, that you're still hungry. Leptin sends off the signal that you're full. Now, what happens when you're not getting proper sleep, all of those hormones are thrown off. All of those signals are thrown off. So while you're not sleeping properly, you fall into like a fight or flight response. As you're basically telling your body, hey, we need to stay awake. Something important is going on and we need to stay awake. Your body really doesn't know what it is. It could be you watching your ninth episode on a series of a TV show on Netflix that you really don't need to be watching at 1 a.m., but at the same time, you see the need because you're stuck watching it and you're forcing yourself to stay awake. So what happens when you're telling your body you need to stay awake and stay alert, it craves energy. The energy it gets is from glucose. Now from glucose, it needs to eat. What breaks down quickly, which is glucose is sugar, what breaks down the quickest? Carbohydrates. So when you crave those late night cravings, it's usually something sugary, something prepackaged, it's quick energy. And that's what you turn to. So when you're not getting sufficient rest, the signal for ghrelin goes up, telling yourself that you're hungry, and leptin goes down. It also affects the insulin levels in your body. So if you get proper sleep, it keeps those insulin blood glucose levels on the lower side. Sleep deficiency can also cause a rise in blood sugar levels. It can also cause a risk for diabetes. I did a video before called the Late Night Munchies. And in that video, I did talk a little bit also about getting proper sleep, how it affects weight loss, and why it's so difficult to lose weight just because you're eating late at night. Getting proper rest affects your mood and performance. So after several nights of losing 1 to 2 hours sleep consecutively, what can happen is your ability to function will become so deficient that it will be as if you didn't even sleep the night before. Microsleep, as we mentioned before, are brief moments during the time that you're awake, where you're normally awake, that you just fall asleep. You have no control over it. We talked about that microsleep, and that comes on because you're deficient in your sleep. We all have a sleep schedule. A circadian rhythm is what it's called, where your body goes through these sleep schedules, and it's supposed to stay on that schedule. And when you throw that schedule off, it throws off everything else. It makes everything else more difficult. Microsleep is very critical because it can make you miss part of a lecture, part of a speech, something you need to really pay attention to, maybe a meeting at work and you're falling asleep, or you're just dozing off a little. You feel like you're awake, your eyes can even be open, but your brain is falling asleep because of sleep deficiency. Microsleep can affect people in all lines of work. It can affect healthcare workers. It can affect people in construction, pilots, students, lawyers, mechanics, assembly line workers, people that have very important jobs that really aren't functioning at their optimal performance because they're not getting the proper amounts of rest. Good quality sleep improves your mood and it helps you get along better with people as well. So let's go over some tips to help us sleep better. Because sleep is important for all of us. Okay, first of all, in your bedroom, you want to make sure that it's a nice cool temperature. It's a nice quiet place. Between 65 and 68 degrees is a nice temperature to go to sleep. You want to make sure it's quiet and also dark so it can be a time of rest. You want to get your body used to getting to sleep and getting in that mode of sleep and rest mode. And so you want to give yourself about 30 minutes to start going to sleep. Don't drink caffeine or heavily caffeinated drinks for like 10 hours before it's time to go to bed, because that can disrupt your sleep schedule as well. You want to turn off all your electronic devices. There's blue lights in the screens that kind of, send off signals in the brain to make you stay awake. And it's also a distraction. Lights will also make you stay awake, send off signals in your brain that it's time to stay awake when you're trying to fall asleep. So you want to be in a darker place, very dim lit if possible. Not any light at all is even probably the best. You want to be more active early in the day, which will help you to get more tired at night. If you're kind of in that sedentary lifestyle, your body is mostly resting throughout the day because you're really not too active. So then when you go to bed at night, you really can't sleep. It feels like you have all this pent up energy that you can't release because you haven't really activated yourself during the day. Getting proper rest will help you to mitigate and manage stress. Now you have to figure out a way to manage that stress, which I did about the 3-part series video talking about stress and ways to relieve stress. You want to check that out and make sure that you're getting control of your stress. And if it's too difficult for you to handle, you also want to talk to a certified professional, a therapist, even a sleep doctor can be very helpful. Try to avoid taking cold showers at night. Maybe a hot shower wouldn't be too bad, but cold showers, in your cold water on your face, in your hands, and on the bottoms of your feet can really make you stay awake. It helps to keep you more alert. If you ever notice when you're dozing off, maybe at a meeting or something, you're starting to fall asleep, splash some cold water on your face, it wakes you up, right? So you want to be careful taking cold showers at night. We talked about mitigating stress. You also want to keep to a good sleep schedule. Like we mentioned before, you have that circadian rhythm that everyone goes through, that sleep cycles that we go through. Each one of those sleep cycles are about 90 minutes long. So that's why between 7 to 9 hours of sleep is really sufficient. That's what you want to aim for. Keep to that sleep schedule. You can also keep a log of your sleep to make sure that you're getting the proper rest that you need. You want to be careful about taking naps during the day. It's a good way to catch up on sleep. You can also do some NSDR, like non-sleep deep rest, meditation throughout the day, which will kind of help you to relax. But try not to make it longer than 20 minutes. When it's longer than 20 minutes, then your body will start throwing off your sleep later on in the day or in the evening. And also, if you lay in bed and you're not sleeping, if you're in bed for more, usually it takes 10 to 15 minutes at the most to fall asleep. But if you're in your bed for 20 minutes or more and you're not falling asleep, then it's time to get up, do something relaxing. Maybe listen to some relaxing music, read a book, maybe do some writing. Writing in a journal is also helpful. But you want to do something that's not going to excite you. And try not to eat as well. But you want to be in sort of a dim lit room, which will help you to get more into a sleep mode. All of the information today was taken from various publications that I've read. Also was taken from the Andrew Huberman podcast about caffeine. When I talked about melatonin, it was taken from the NIH PubMed article that was published in March of 2015. Sleep deprivation is also an article from the NIH on how sleep affects our health. And also from health.gov, Get Enough Sleep. 20 Tips on How to Sleep Better was written by Dr. Abhinav Singh, published in December 2023. So that's what we have today for sleep and how to improve sleep. I hope this was helpful. And if you like the videos, please make sure to like and subscribe. That really helps me in the gathering the information that I'm helping with for everyone, and is very beneficial for all. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please pass it on to anyone. Leave a comment. I really appreciate the feedback. Please look forward. Keep on the lookout for publications. There's a couple of books that I've written that will be talking about these topics as well. And again, good health to you all. Hello again. And just real quickly, there was one last thing I wanted to share. I just finished reading this great book on how to sleep. It's written by Dr. Rafael Palaio. He's a sleep doctor. Very good book. I had it laying in my bed, and when I was trying to sleep, when I had difficulty sleeping, I would read this book. So thank you, Dr. Palaio, for this book. I'm sure you can get it. I got it at Barnes & Nobles. You can get it on Amazon. Very good book about sleep. A lot of the things that I discussed are also from this book as well.